and then watch the economy go from sputtering and faltering and stalling, roaring back. The Pentagon war planners have rightfully said that 90% of modern warfare is informational. That's why it's more important than ever that all of you watching subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at Real Alex Jones, because InfoWars is the front line of the fight. And without your help and support, we will fail. With your support and with your prayers, we will be victorious against the globalists together. These aren't words. It's truth. It's not just claims. It's fact. President Trump, over and over again, as candidate Trump said, Hillary and Obama, along with NATO and the globalists, have armed radical Islam with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and others, and they have turned them loose on our allies, and they are murdering Christians en masse. And my Pentagon sources have advised me on this, and when I get into office, we're going to destroy them in 6 months. Today is the 6-month anniversary of his inauguration and his announcement to kill the TPP, to renegotiate NAFTA and GATT, to kill the carbon tax, to control our borders, and he's delivered in a royal flush. But the headlines from CNN and the New York Times, the Washington Post, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS is Trump doesn't get one piece of major legislation through. Trump's a failure. Trump's in shambles. Trump's under criminal investigation. And yes, he hasn't gotten any major legislation, meaning tax cuts or Obamacare repeal through, but a lot of other stuff that is actually major has gotten through, massive regulations cut, and he's gotten so much done via the executive branch because they were unconstitutionally doing most of their globalist agenda through it. He was able to turn that back on them and kill it, and then watch the economy go from sputtering and faltering and stalling, roaring back. And now, the Federal Reserve announces huge increases coming in the next few months to the previous increases of the amount of money you have to pay to borrow. And as the interest increases, it's a wet blanket trying to stop the American system that empires have been trying to stop for 242 years. This is an amazing time to be alive. And I just tell it like it is, ladies and gentlemen. Trump has delivered, and it is just over-the-top bizarre to see all these liars and scumbags sit there and spew their lies with a straight face, because it is so over-the-top ridiculous. And to see McCain, after serious brain surgery, having a large, malignant, fast-acting, most deadly brain tumor there is, associated with cell phone radiation, even Newsweek's admitting that, saying Trump's doing a horrible thing in Syria, that he's with the Russians. Our military made that deal 5 years ago and told Obama we weren't going to back him. And now we've smashed ISIS, and Assad's making noises about leaving, which is a deal he agreed to once they'd kicked the invading forces out of the country. And the White House has come out and said we want to see Assad now begin to move to leave. Ending the wars, ending the civil wars, ending the Al-Qaeda-ISIS offensive. Now having Al-Qaeda and ISIS in 2 small neighborhoods of 2 cities, absolutely on the run and admitting they've been destroyed. Of course, they came in on their convoys from all over the Middle East, from all over the world, protected by Obama, by Hillary, the modern founders of the Al-Qaeda, Wahhabist, al-Nusra, known as ISIS, Islamic State, is their country, between Syria and Iraq. And they spin that with their bizarre, twisted, upside-down, inverted alchemy that Trump is bad for cleaning up their treasonous, outrageous criminal activities that they and CNN and others backed and promoted and funded, and he signed an order killing all funding to the rebels because they're all Al-Qaeda. Let's go out to break with the president, to their horror, saying ISIS is falling fast while visiting with the military.
ISIS. ISIS is falling fast. Very fast. Thank you.
This will be a day long remembered. Globalism is falling.
What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com.